Now, let me read a few newer poems, and I'm trying to pay attention to the clock and not babble on too long. The poems should speak for themselves, and so I'm not going to give a lot of introduction. This poem is called Empty Talk, and it begins with two quotations, one from Xinhua, and a second from a billboard in Shekou, which is the neighborhood that I live in Shenzhen when I live in China. The quotation from Xinhua, dated 19 March 2008, "The rioters who wore cassocks were no real monks, and what they did is completely against Buddhist codes," said Ngawang Dainzen, a living Buddha. All in all, it's China's Tibet, now and forever. The second quotation, which is a billboard in Shekou, "Empty talk endangers the nation, practical work brings prosperity." There are living Buddhas on every side of every war. Nothing they do changes the coming into being of it, the passing away of it. Passing away catches the eye. Bodies count the slow awakening of corpses piled high while cities burn. 10,000 Buddhas see what is not there after the city has died. But not anger burning slow under occupation, not impatience at the slow curve of a twisted universe turned, 1 in 10,000 Buddhas chance to justice. Resigned to the slow turn of a world still burning, all the time in the world is occupied with no. States line up living Buddhas like barricades, tip them like buses in burning streets. Check body counts, silence what is out of line, contain slow burns off stage, so nobody shouts fire until all that is left is ashes. This was written on the 5th anniversary of the U.S. occupation of Iraq. Another poem from Dim Sum of the day before. Most of these poems were written during the Year of the Rat. I always tell people, because it was the Year of the Rat, there are a lot of political poems in this collection, and sometimes the politics is more explicit than other times. But this is actually a series of short poems, Year of the Rat. First, Nanshan horoscope. Rat scampers across the path between dogs who take no notice and walkers so early they have no place to go. Someone left dinner half finished in styrofoam last night, and he found it before the sweeper. So his belly is full, and he's in no hurry once he gets to the other side. Mornings like this give him reason to believe it could be his year. A dim sum of the day before. 4 young rats sample a dim sum of the day before in the trash can beside the path. They see no reason to scatter when I pass. Another, I think, older, maybe wiser, peers from the cover of low vines a few steps further on. When I pass again, 2 cats hunting turn at meow. They keep their distance. Rain leaves something for everyone, but next morning I see just 1 rat, fat as a pampered cat, dining al fresco between showers. Bourgeois joggers at 5. I have never seen a corrupt official gathering breakfast in the gaps between impatience on a morning walk. Rats count on the scraps of our excess, but they work for a living. Consult watches for lost time when I interrupt their routine. They avoid contact. One never knows they know what a stray might carry. These fat rats are bourgeois joggers at 5, at their desks by 7. They've learned to avoid strangers, wash hands again and again to keep pandemics at bay. A sacrament. 2 rats playing on the grass by the walk take note of my passing and pause. Long enough to determine I'm nothing more than a harmless voyeur, looking for a sign in the ease of their movement, hoping to make sense of the turning world. A dog or a cat would demand adjustment, not an old man driven to distraction who mistakes them for a sacrament. Close. Cold, hard as fact, rat, flat under the wheel, knows perfectly well death has always been closer than the interval between one breath and another. When breath stops and your heart stops to think about the next beat, close as it is now, Tail curves to shadow the arc of the body in one dimension, like a wry smile says, just wait, you'll see. I read all these happy poems. I'm sorry, I depend on Nathan to lift the mood later. I'll try to read some that aren't quite so downbeat, but that may be difficult for me. I'm going to read a poem called For the Light, and I may then try to read one more recent poem that's a little more up. I often have people who ask, when I'm in China, they say, why do you come to China? When I'm in the United States, they say, why do you go to China? They ask that over and over again. And my way of responding to that is to write a poem that just keeps growing. And actually in the book, there are 9 sections to it. I'm up to more like a dozen at this point, but I won't read the new ones, just the 9 that are in the book. They're all short. I come to China to learn to walk away. Gray kitten on a branch beyond my reach cries, and I cannot coax him down. He knows there is nothing I can do, so I walk on and he falls silent. I'd like to think he found some comfort in my voice, responding to his cry, but he is still tree, and I have done nothing. The world is no less dangerous for my words. He will tell his story, put his feet on the ground when he sees the time is right. I come to China for the light, gray soft through everyday fog. The fog of every war settles on this coast. Power, speed, sound, cities grow thick with it, slow to the chill consistency of honey. Set. Everything moves at the sticky, sweet speed of deliberate light, still time. Some days sun glows dull through clouds, waiting to rain gray light that will fill low paths, looking for a way to ocean they remember where these roads are. Some days it shatters into 10,000 red shards on subtle mist, scatters across a whole sky, yellow to red, settles finally to earth as dust some god might spit on to make a new man to be fruitful and multiply bodies of gray light on dry land he names so the god will know how to address them. I come to China for silence in a wall of sound. There is no denying the fire in Lhasa, no words for it. I come to China for the leaves, always autumn. Kowloon in March, water mirrors gray sky. They drop green, yellow, orange, red, white as the water of the fountain swaying with waves passing, milling where there are edges. A brown one falls in the center, bobs, does not appear to move, but it is clinging to the edge of a crowd an hour later, earth-tone patch of sienna. In Shenzhen, they scatter across every walk over paving stone drones, ragas for all hours, with the birds who will sing for concrete eves when the trees are gone. I'm going to skip to the last one and then read something from a new project. No one goes anywhere for any reason but for love. Drawn by circles of friends, driven by circles broken. There is no place but this. Now, just one more poem, and I'm going to let somebody else read. And I do have to say, it is wonderful to come to Oklahoma for the same reason that I go to China, surrounded by circles of friends. It's good.